Good morning, everyone. Yeah. Good morning. Okay. So yesterday we have seen some simple architectures, and probably I will start on Spring to give some use cases from my side. Let me share my screen first of all. I think hope I'm audible to everyone. Okay. Okay. Thanks for confirming. Can you all hear my voice, right? I just wanted to confirm again. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. So today, what I just wanted to do, so this is for the previous demo. I'll just go to this. Okay. Just close this. Okay. So first of all, I just wanted to know, anyone knows about Maven, first of all? Maven. Okay, little bit. Okay. So first, yeah. So before that, let's say, let me see the responses also. Okay. Those people who do not have any idea on Maven, let me tell you. So let's say if you are just going to create a simple Java project, what will happen? So basically you will use string class, you will use array list class, linked list class, hash map, linked hash map, hash set, and so on, right? So how you are going to use these classes? Because these classes are already a part of Java library. So you'll get all these projects and classes, right? So basically these are softwares. We call them as libraries, but at the end you'll understand what is this application and what is this software or all these kind of things. Yeah. The people who are asking about Gradle is also a build tool, and Maven is also a build tool. So these build tools basically used to get some softwares from one repository. I will show you that repository in a bit, but right now let's develop a simple Java project using Maven archetype. So Maven archetype is a plugin provided in IDE. If you use IntelliJ or if you use Eclipse or STS, you'll get this IDE directly. Okay, the plugin directly. So let's say I just want to create a simple Java Maven project. So I need to use one artifact, which is something called Maven archetype quick start. And the version I just wanted to give this as 1.0. I just wanted to create this project and I just wanted to keep this as notification system. And let's create this project. Okay. So now let's go to this and understand our pom.xml first of all. So here it actually displays some use cases for us. This is our application name. 1 second, hold on. That's it. Okay. So now let's say This is my application name, and this is a group ID. So let's call this as com.nareshit, just for simplicity. And I just wanted to go to this and open the source. And I just wanted to rename this one as well. Refactor, rename all directories, com.nareshit. Okay. Now, basically, we do have this Java Maven project, and the name of this project is Artifact ID. Artifact ID basically gives the application name, the Java application name, and group ID always conveys the developers that this particular notification system is from Naresh IT. Okay. So group ID basically gives the information about the organization, and Artifact ID basically gives the information of the organization software. And there will be so many versions of the applications. If you consider PhonePe, Google Pay, right, Paytm, all these apps will have some versions. So whenever the app gets updated, so they will actually rename this version to 1.0, 1.2, 1.3, something like that. Okay. So basically, this is something, let's say, if someone wanted to use my application in their Java application, then probably they need to import this particular dependency. So we usually call that as dependency, but right now I just wanted to show something to you. Okay. Let's say, let's delete this package. And now let's say I just wanted to rename this app to notification system. Okay, just rename this first of all. And that's it. Now I just wanted to remove everything here. And I just wanted to create one package, com.nareshit.api. And here in this API package, I just wanted to create one class called notification API. Okay, very simple. Now I just have to create one method inside this public void trigger notification. And I just have to do sout. And I just wanted to say this as email notification sent. Right? Now, what I can do from the notification system in the plain Java fashion, what we are going to do, I just have to create an object for the notification API class, because unless we cannot call this method, first of all. Okay. So first of all, let's go to this and notification API, create an object for this. Notification API, and that solve, and then we can call notification API dot trigger notification. That's it. Now, here I just I can just run this application, and probably this will print out a sysout in the console. Okay. Now let's see how Spring Framework is going to automate this step. That means we don't have to create an object for this. Okay. So what I can do for this line and replace it with some annotations based. Okay. So first of all, let me introduce some more classes, because let's say I just wanted to create one more package first of all. And I just wanted to say this as service. And inside this service, I just wanted to make this as, I just wanted to create one client, which is notification client. And then probably I will add one method, abstract method over here. So public void send notification. So basically, API is the only class which exposes some services. And imagine that there is something called an email notification client for this particular implementation class. 1 second. Email notification client. And this has to implement the notification client. Very simple. Okay, so notification client is a interface. And now I just wanted to override that. Send notification. And whatever the step that I have placed over here, I just wanted to copy this. And I just wanted to keep this in this one. So, but what is the difference? Why you are copying, pasting, and this particular line in this particular service? Okay. The only thing that I just wanted to say, we don't keep all the functionalities in a single class. There is something called a single responsibility principle. This API has to take the request from the main method. Then it has to call a service. Imagine right now we are not using any, email notifications to send a notification, something like that. But we will see that later, how it actually works. But right now, I just wanted to call a service, which is a notification service. That means email notification client is a service. And now this has some logic. Imagine there is a logic behind the scenes, but I just don't want to write that logic here. I just wanted to say that this service class is going to send an email. That is an email notification. Now, if you just see over here, only notification API is exposed to the outside people. They have to use this notification API to send an email. So now it has to depend on private notification client, and that's it. And we need to provide a setup because this is an interface, right? We need to implement or give or inject implementation class object. Okay. Now I need to provide a setter for this. Let's generate a setter. That's all. And now I just wanted to go to this main class notification system. And here I cannot call trigger notification because in this trigger notification, I just wanted to call this dot notification client dot send notification. Okay. Now this will call, this is the interface. So it has to call this email notification client. In order to make that call, so what we need to do, we need to create an object for email notification client. So, but on the left side, we will be creating notification client object because this is an interface. We cannot create an object for interface. We need to give the implementation class object. This is the email. Now I can just use this notification client and I can just go to the notification API dot set notification client, and you need to set the notification client over here. Then only you can call the trigger notification. Let me tell you, if we are not going to do this step, what will happen? Let me comment out this. And let me run this as debug. And I just wanted to keep the debugging point in notification API. Let's keep this debugging point over here. And now let's say I just wanted to go step by step. So here, the control came over here in the main method. Now let's go to this trigger notification, but this notification client is having null value. That means this is an interface. And basically, once we declare any class object or interface object in the class level, by default, it will be null. So we need to inject email notification client as an object for this. So we have not called the set notification client before calling this trigger because this will not be having the object, right? So now let's execute this and we will get a null pointer exception. Cannot invoke notification client dot send notification. Okay. Now you just go to the notification API and probably go to this notification system and uncomment this two parts. Now what will happen? Let's analyze the situation once again. And I just wanted to debug it again. And now it came. Now it is going to the next step. And finally, it is calling the trigger notification. Now, if you see that this notification client, instead of having a null, it has an object called email notification client reference. Now, when we call this send notification, email notification will be triggered. So if you just go to this email notification client, so just keep a debugging point at here. So let's go forward. And now this one is called, and there you go. So very simple. I just wanted to explain these basics before converting this code to a Spring Core based application. Got it, right? Now let's see what is the reason behind how it is actually, using Spring Framework in order to automate all this kind of steps. How we can automate all these steps using Spring Framework. Okay. I just wanted to comment all these parts first of all. And now it's a point where we need to use Spring Framework. So in order to use Spring Framework related libraries and softwares, we need to go to the Maven repository. Since our project is a Maven project, so I need to go to this Maven project. So Maven Spring-context. So let's go to this dependency. And if you see that the recent version is 6.0.13. So right now, there is a dependency provided over here. See here, there's a dependency. So copy this dependency. So this dependency is used to get some software. So if you see the left side over here, external libraries, I have only the Java 17 library where I can use all this static public keywords, even also string class, hash map, everything is going to come from this package. But all these are Java packages, right? All these are Java packages. But in order to get Spring Framework libraries and softwares, we need to add the dependency in the pom.xml. Let's go to the pom.xml and let's add the dependency over here. And just on the top right, click on this refresh. And once you click on refresh, you will get Spring Framework related softwares. And now I can say that this application is not a Java based application. This application is a pure Spring based application in Java. That's it. So that's the behavior that we have added with a single dependency. Okay. Now let's see how to automate all these kind of steps from our side. So I don't want to create an object for notification API, and I don't want to create an object for email notification client. I don't want to call this setter, and directly I can call trigger notification in order to trigger an email. Okay. So let's see all these steps in an automated fashion when we are using Spring Framework library. Okay. Now let's say, first of all, I just wanted to use some annotations. So @configuration and @component scan. That's very simple. Okay. Now, what is this @configuration and what is this @component scan? Okay. Now, when I run this application, okay, we will see some stuff from our side. But basically, if you wanted to automate this step and also wanted to automate this step, that means you don't have to create an object using new operator. Just go on top of the class and annotate this with @component and annotate this with @component on the email notification client also. Sorry. Okay. Now, let's see whether Spring is going to create an object for email as well as the notification API class also. Let's see how it actually does. Okay. Now, what I need to do, there is something called an application context in Spring. This is the only application context we do have. So I can just import that. I'm sorry. Application context. I just have to refresh it once again. There's something called Maven. And reload the project. So if you see here in the libraries, there is something called Spring Core. Here is the Spring Core. So here we do have some framework annotations. Here, if you just go over here, there is something called @configuration. So this configuration is from org.springframework.context.annotation, right? So if you just see which is this particular package, so this one, context. And here we are actually using @configuration. And if you just wanted to go to this annotation, this is just a interface which is defined as a custom annotation. So we are using it. Okay. Why we are using it, what we need to get out of this, I will explain in a bit. Okay, so I'll just minimize all these things together. And here, I just wanted to define application context. Sorry, what is this? Yeah. Just wanted to minimize this. Why Kotlin is coming, I just wanted to go to this pom.xml first of all. And here is the Spring context. Okay, let me search the application context. Classes. No. So application context is not coming. So what is happening behind the scenes? If you just go to this, there is something called dependencies for this particular thing. So if you just go to this, there is a Spring AOP. There's a Spring Beans. There is a Spring Core, right? So if you just go to this, it has some annotations, Spring Core related annotations, and there is a JCL library. Okay. So now what we need to do, let's go to this pom.xml again and refresh this again. I think someone has asked, someone is asking some questions. Sure. I will go a bit slow. Okay. But these are demo sessions. Please excuse us for the day. Okay. So now I have added all these kind of things. I just wanted to go to this. And here, I just wanted to go to this. And there's something called application context. This is next step. Let me restart the application first of all. Sometimes it invalidates the caches. Yeah. Let me reopen this. Okay. Let it load all the dependencies first of all. Let me search for the class application context. Okay, so it is actually indexing the function. Let's wait for some time. So it is indexing all the dependencies over here. Let's wait for some time. So once this is done in the bottom, so everything, we will get all the dependencies. Previously, it has downloaded, but it was not showing the dependencies. So that's the reason we are not getting application context. I was searching for that. So let's wait for some time. Yes. Now we have something called the application context, which is from Spring. Let's go to this. So this is the application context interface. So sometimes it takes some time to get all these classes because dependencies will come. The classes are yet to load from the Maven repository because this is a central repository. And if you see here, there is something called a group ID like us. There is something called a group ID. This is a group ID. And this basically gives an information that this software is belonging to which organization. Okay, Spring Framework. So that means a Spring organization. And the application name is Spring-context, which is basically going to give a lot of core libraries. Like say, let's say we are using string, we are using HashMap, linked HashMap on all these classes. These are basically provided by the JDK. But if you wanted to use Spring Framework related libraries and classes, we need to add this dependency in order to get the Spring functionalities. Okay. Now, if I just go back to the notification system, and I just wanted to type application context. Now it came. Now, what I just wanted to do over here, application context equal to new application context. That means there is something called, this is an interface. This is an interface. For this, we do have implementation classes. And one of the implementation class is annotation config application context, and I need to provide my configuration class name. Very simple. So once I do this, what it is going to do behind the scenes? Okay, let me do a sysout, and then application context dot get bean definition names. I just wanted to print it. But if you see this, this is an array, string array. So basically what I just wanted to do, so write a for each and go here. So this is basically going to give a string array. So I just wanted to capture it over here. And I just wanted to call this as bean. So first of all, what is a bean? Bean is simply an object for a particular class, but since Spring is going to manage all our instances, so that's why in Spring we call object as a bean. Okay. So now I just wanted to do a sysout, and then I just wanted to show the bean name. Okay. Now let's run this application and see what will happen. And behind the hoods, I just wanted to explain you, it is going to create a lot of objects for us. If you see here, it has created an object for notification system. It has created an object for notification API, and it has created an object for email notification client. So all these two steps are actually created by the Spring. So we don't have to do this manually by using core Java based. I just wanted to cut it. Yeah. Now there is something called setting the notification client. Right. Now what I can just do right now, I can just go here, and instead of, so since you have seen it is actually creating some Spring related class objects. And if you see the naming conventions also, how we actually create an object for this, basically, I just wanted to write it on the top. So email notification client equal to new email notification client. So this is a naming convention, right? The Spring also followed the same naming convention over here. Okay, so behind the scenes, but how it is creating an object? Let me explain you first of all. So if you see that in the configuration class, if you just go to the configuration class, this is a configuration class. I will tell you what is the configuration first of all, but before that, I just wanted to explain about this @component scan. So @component scan is present in which class? Notification system on top of this class. And this class is basically belonging to com.naresh IT package. So now @component scan, what it will do, it will just go to this package and it will see all these classes. And if it finds @component annotation on top of a class, it is just going to create an object. And if it is going to email notification client, and if it finds @component on top of a class, it is just going to create an object. Now, let's say in the notification API, there is something called a dependency. So notification API depends on notification client. So how this object can be injected? So right now we are calling a setter in order to pass the object reference. But here, I just wanted to annotate with this @autovide. So Spring will automatically set this. We don't have to generate a setter for this notification client in order to inject the object. Okay. Now let's go to this notification system and remove all this kind of stuff. And this step is automated using @autovide. So this is the alternative approach. That means automatically we are injecting it. So now what we need to do, I can remove this. So we have automated all the steps. Now I need to get the notification API. So how I can get it? So application context is like a container for all the beans. Let's say it has @notification. That means it has notification API, @component is annotated. So it will create an object for this particular class and keep that object inside this application context, which is a factory of objects of beans. Okay, this is a factory of beans where it is going to store all the class objects inside this particular context. So application context is basically a container of objects. Whatever the annotations that we have used on top of the classes, all these objects even this object is going to create and store that object inside this application context. So now what I can do, I can just use application context dot get bean. And what is the bean name here? This is the bean, right? So this is a variable name, okay, for the object that we have, that Spring has given. So I will just go here and I will just do this and notification. This is an email notification directly. We need to get the notification API, right? Because that is the only API that we can call. So right now, I just wanted to paste it over here and we will get the notification API and then notification API. And now if you see here, there is something called an exception. So whenever you call getBean, it actually returns an object. Whenever you call this method, it will return an object. So we need to typecast it whenever we call getBean. Okay. Now, once this is done, we can just uncomment this and run this application. It will run it on the fly. So that's the total idea. Okay. Now, the only problem over here is why I need to do a typecast. You can just give it as a dot class file name so that you don't have to typecast it again. So this is another way. So everyone will use this and probably we will get this object and we will call this trigger notification. And this trigger notification is a part of notification API class. Now, if you just go forward, there is a notification client dependency. So it is using that dependency in order to send the notification. And probably this is an interface. So right now we have annotated that with @autovide. Basically, this is an interface and it finds any of the implementation classes implements this particular notification client, then probably that object will be injected to this variable. Got it? So that's the total idea. So this is how we are actually, automating the steps of manual creation of core Java objects to Spring Core in an automated fashion. So here, if you see that notification system, let's say we do have a main method and we are doing this step. So this will not only create only this email component or notification API class object, but imagine there are hundreds of classes. Can you create object for 100 classes using new operator 100 times? Is that a best practice? So this is where you just go on top of the class, annotate that with @component. Now I will explain the important steps. What is this @configuration and what is this component scan? Now I have explained @component scan will scan this particular package and whatever the classes which are annotated with @component in this particular package, it will create the object for the particular classes. Now, let's say I just wanted to go to a bakery shop. I have just gone over there. And basically, I'm giving some steps to the bakery guy. Hey, these are the steps. I have 10 different ideas to prepare my cake. So these are the 10 steps. I'm just telling it to you. And I just came back after telling all the steps to the bakery guy. Now, when I return back from the bakery shop, now what will happen? So many people will come for ordering the cake. He will forget, he will not remember, right? So this is something called a @component scan. So @component scan will not be recognized by the Spring unless it is a configuration class. So now let's say, I just wanted to put some silly examples to make you understand. Okay. So let's say if I just go to the bakery shop, I just wanted to note all the steps, 10 different steps on a paper. And I just wanted to mention all the names, whatever the thing. Okay. Preparation steps, my name, and the delivery date. Everything will be given on the paper from my side. Now the bakery guy will take, and even after I leave, he has the paper where all the steps are written. So paper is like @configuration. And @component scan is just the steps that I have written inside a paper. So paper is like a configuration, and @component scan is the steps. Okay. So that's the total idea. So whenever it sees @configuration, hey, the developer has given me one paper, and he has written @component scan. So Spring automatically knows that @component scan means it has to scan this package where this @component scan and configuration annotations are present. Basically, it will go to this package. It will go to each and every child sub packages. It will go to the notification API. It will create an object. It will go to this service package, and it will just see this class and create an object for this particular class. And now finally, it will come to this notification system when we run the main method. So it has created all the objects for us, and it is going to keep those objects inside the application context factory. And now we are just getting the objects from the factory by giving the class names. Now I have got the notification API class as an object. Now I can simply call the trigger notification. But let me debug this application for you one more time so that you will understand. Debug this. And now let's go step by step. So now I have got this. Now if you see this, right? If you see this application context, you have this application context. I just wanted to expose this. Now there is a bean factory. Okay, there is a bean factory. So here, if you see that there is something called bean definition names. So if you can see here, it has already created objects for our notification system class, notification API class, email notification client class also. It has created all these objects, and all these objects are already there. Now what I can just do once I get all these objects. So if you see the addresses also, what is the notification email notification client address? So if you see here, there's something called email notification client. Just expand this. And this is something called the email notification client object. Now, if you just wanted to go one step behind, I got the notification API object. See here, whenever we create an object for a particular class, we'll get the class name @some address. Now, with that address, I just wanted to call this trigger notification. Now, if you see that notification client is already there as part of the email notification client, that means this object is already created before starting the application. Now, with that application reference, so notification client itself has email notification client as an object, because that we have auto-wide. Auto-wide in the sense, whenever it sees whatever the class which is implementing the notification client interface, and if that class is annotated with @component like this, it will just create an object and inject that particular object to this notification client, and it doesn't need a setter. So this is the alternative of a setter. Okay, so it will set that, and probably it will just go to the next step, and probably this is going to end like this. Okay, so that's the total idea. And here, if you just go to this notification system, so this is how we are actually automating all these steps using Spring Core, and that is the total idea, guys. Okay, so how many, let's say if you have 50 classes, 60 classes, 70 classes, 80 classes, whatever the things are there. So if you just pass our configuration class, that means the main class name, then probably this main class has to be present inside a package com.nareshit. And what is the package name? API. So this is not a single API package. This is com.nareshit.api, com.nareshit.service. Okay, these are sub packages, and those rules will be automatically applied to the existing function. That means the notification system. Okay, now we have actually created a Java Maven project initially, but later we have added the Spring framework dependencies to make this application as a Spring application, because once we add the dependency in the pom.xml, like Spring context 6.0.13, now we will get that over here. These are the dependencies. Okay, now we have got all these dependencies, and we can use the Spring framework libraries or classes in order to make our application as Java Spring application. That's the total idea. Okay. So any doubts in this, first of all? You can ask me any questions if you have anything. Okay, no one has any questions. So everyone has understood. Yes, Yogesh, previously, we need to add Spring Core dependency, but probably they have made it a part of Spring Context. If you just go and select the Spring Context, this is my pom.xml. This is my pom.xml. And right now, what I just wanted to do, I just wanted to click on this. And if you just go onto the Spring Context, this is a Spring Context, right? So if I just go to the dependencies, we do have a Spring Core dependency. See here, we don't have to add Spring Core. So that's the total idea. Got it. So can I practice in STS? Yeah. I just wanted to switch out to the STS now. I just don't wanted to use IntelliJ because I just wanted to create a web application now. So right now we are actually running this application as main method, and then probably we are running this. But I don't want to run my application from my hands. Okay, I just wanted to run this application inside a Tomcat server. Okay. Fine. So what I just wanted to do. Yeah. So now I'll just go close this, but later on, everyone has to use IntelliJ because IntelliJ is being used by most of the companies. You just have to addict to that. And I just wanted to give 10 or 15 minute session on the IntelliJ also, how to use it. Okay. But right now I just wanted to switch it back to STS now. I just wanted to go to STS. Yeah, I just wanted to go to this. So I just wanted to use two more dependencies, which is Spring Web MVC and Jakarta. So these are the two dependencies that we need to add from our side. But let's go and use the same Maven project that we have used. So right now, I just wanted to remove all this. And I just wanted to import one more the project that we have created. So right now, I just wanted to go to this desktop files. Yes. And here is our notification system we have created in IntelliJ. I just wanted to import this because this is a Maven project, right? So how you can import the Maven project? You can just go to the import and you can just go to the existing Maven projects. And once it finds the pom.xml at this particular URL, then probably you can just click on browse. And probably once this is there, you can just import it on the fly. Okay. Now our notification system is there in place. Now I just have to go to this pom.xml. And again, I'm saying that you have this notification system. I don't want to have this main method, and I just don't want to, create any application context object or notification API .getBean. I don't want to use this. I just wanted to remove this first of all, and I just wanted to save this. Okay, but I just wanted to run this on a server so that I can call this notification API from the browser. I just wanted to call this method from the browser, not from anywhere. Okay. Now, in order to make this application as a web application, that means Spring Web application, we need to add two dependencies. And these are the two dependencies. So one is Spring Web MVC, which adds web functionality to our Java-based application. And the other one is Jakarta. So what is Jakarta? So previously it was JavaX. Right now it has been renamed to Jakarta because Java X has been purchased by the Jakarta organization. So that's the reason they have replaced all these Java X related packages with Jakarta. Okay. Now I just want to add these two dependencies. So what is this dependency, Jakarta? So basically Jakarta basically creates a communication protocol between the browser, which is a JavaScript application, and our server, which is a Java application. Okay, so that's what Jakarta is being used. Okay, now I just wanted to copy these two dependencies. I just wanted to copy this, and I just wanted to go to this pom.xml, and I just wanted to add them inside the dependencies. After this, you can add it anywhere. It's your wish. Okay, now we have added. And now if you can see that it is actually going to download all this. So if you see this Maven dependencies, so we do have something called Spring Web MVC. There is something called Jakarta. And there is something called Jakarta EE. What is EE? It's the enterprise edition. Basically, it is going to maintain the communication between Java web-based application and the browser. That means browser is going to call our notification API class through the URL, and it is going to give some response. Okay. Now, what I just wanted to do, I just wanted to go to this notification API first of all, and here go to this email notification client. Instead of printing it, I just wanted to return only this. Okay, and I just wanted to change this method to string. And now if you see that notification client, it is getting error. So I just wanted to make this as string. Now there will be no errors. Now I just wanted to go to this notification system, and there is nothing to do because this does not have a main method. This is a server based application right now. So I just wanted to go to this, and I just wanted to return this dot notification client, and basically it is going to return string. I just wanted to return the same. Okay, now there's something called methodologies. Once we actually develop a Spring web-based application using plain Spring, not Spring Boot. Okay, now let's say what happens. I just wanted to go on top of this class and add one more annotation called request mapping. And basically I will add notifications. That's it. And then probably on top of this method, I just wanted to make this as get mapping. Anyone knows about this get request, post request, put request, and delete request? Anyone? Anyone knows about the REST principles? Anyone knows about the REST principles? Yeah. So basically, let's say if I just wanted to hit nareshit.com. Okay, I just have hit this. So basically it has given me a web page. So whatever the calls that you are going to do from this URL, basically all the requests will be get requests. Because I'm not sending any data. I'm just entering the URL and pressing enter. Basically it's a get request. Let's say if I just have to give some data to Naresh IT URL. So basically I can do that by using a login. So if I just click on login first here, if I don't have an account, so probably there's something called, is there an sign up option over here? Okay, let's say if I just go to this student login. Okay, so there is something called a register here. So if I just click on this, so whatever the details that you are going to submit over here, this is a post request. Post means we are giving some data to the backend server. Get means we are just making a call to the backend server. But here we are making a call to the backend user by giving all these details and pressing on continue. This is a post request which makes a call to the backend server along with the data that I'm passing. That's it. So we cannot pass the data directly through the browser. Okay, so that's the total idea. So now if you just wanted to go to here, so now I just wanted to convert this into a web application. So now what I just wanted to do, so I just wanted to give the URL like this. So basically the thing is, now I have given the email notification. So now how the URL looks like, let's say our application is going to run on port 8080. So localhost port 8080 / notifications. This is the URL and email. Okay. Now this is the URL. So how to run this application on a server? First of all, don't think about these are demo sessions, and probably I just wanted to give some idea on how to create Spring Boot applications. But before that, if you don't understand this terminology, and working on Spring Boot directly, you will not get any idea. But see the stuff what I just wanted to do over here. I just wanted to go on servers. I just wanted to add a server. So I just wanted to select the Tomcat, latest one. I just wanted to click on next. And here, I just wanted to, so since it is already there on my system in the document, so it is taking the path already. So if you just go to the documents, there is something called Tomcat server. So this is the Tomcat which is being added. So I have downloaded it. So directly you can download Apache Tomcat download. So the link will come to you. Now, if you see that I don't have any applications over here to add. Anyone? What needs to be done now? Anyone? Any idea? Anyone? Any idea? Why I'm not getting my notification system application to add it into the server? First of all, anyone knows any idea on that? Okay. So here, when we actually develop a Maven project, basically we need to add something called a packaging. So here, if you see, jar means Java archive file. Okay. No, we don't have to add any external jars, my friend Debapriya. So here there is something called a packaging jar. So here we need to make this as a var. Var means it's a web archive file. That means we are making this application as a web application. So it needs to have the packaging as a var. Then only Tomcat server will recognize that this is a web application. Okay. So now I just wanted to save these changes. And if I just go to the, now it has refreshed it. So now if you see this, I just wanted to go to this Tomcat server. And now there is something called Apache Tomcat. I will just add it. And now if you see, I have actually, just wait a second for now. Yeah. So now what I just wanted to do, I just wanted to refresh it first of all. There is something called Maven. You can just go over here and update the project. So once you do the update of the project, and let's go to this particular property file, the location of the file. And if you see the notification system, there's a target. And we don't have any var files generated over here. Okay. To generate a var file, what we need to do, let's copy this path. I can do it from Git bash, but normally what you can do, you can just go and run the update project after this. So probably what I will do, I will just copy this, and probably we can open a terminal over here. I just don't want to do that. I just wanted to open a Git bash. And I just wanted to go to the path of my project. Paste it. And just clear. Just do Maven clean install. So what is this Maven clean install? Anyone? I think most of the people will have idea, but I will tell you. So Maven clean install, basically, it will create an application var file for our application. Okay. So let's say I have to add this application to a Tomcat. So right now there is no var. If you just see the folder structure over here, in the notification target, I don't have a var file. Now, when I just click on Maven clean install and press it over here, so it will just do some steps behind the scenes, building notification system. So it is generating all the things. Now, if you see here, we have this .var file. Now, if you just go behind the scenes in the STS, I just wanted to do update project again to just make sure that everything is working fine. Yeah. Now I just wanted to, configure server for it. New Tomcat server. Select the Tomcat. Next. And now we have not got any jar over here. I will tell you what is the reason behind. First, let me add the server first over here. So choose the Tomcat, choose the version over here, click on select and click on finish. So now when you do this step, right? So for probably add and remove, there is something called, there is no, there are no resources probably. So why? Because if you see the Java version over here, it is 1.7. Okay. I just have to go to this and there is something called the Maven compiler and the dependency. So what I just wanted to do, I'll just go to this existing application. So where is our IntelliJ? I just wanted to copy some properties so that we can add that into a server. This is the same file, I guess. So here we have not got that. So probably what I will do, I will just go close all tabs. There is something called, so right now I just wanted to configure this as build path, configure build path. And here, instead of having the library 1.7, I just wanted to change it to the latest version. Alternate JRE, finish. That means I just wanted to add my JDK as a dependency over here. Install JREs, add standard VM. So I just wanted to select the JDK from my C program files Java. So this is the JDK, select the folder. So click on finish. Select this JDK because always you need to work with the latest versions, not with the older versions. Click on apply and close and select the JDK from here and click on finish and click on apply and close. And now you'll get something interesting over here. Now I just wanted to, just click on the update project, Maven update project. So here, it is just refreshing it. And see here, the version got changed again. Have you seen that? Okay. Now, how to dynamically mention our Java version for this project? Anyone knows about it? Because once I do Maven update, it is actually reverting back that to 1.7 because this STS is supported with 1.7 and above. But right now we have not configured any of our JDK systems over here right now. So there is something called, I'll just go to this. Maven, compiler and target, Java version. So if you just go to this, just go to this Apache Maven. And here you will get something called some properties. Copy these properties here. Okay. And or also you can add a plugin. Okay. So this is a plugins. I will just go to this and I'll just go to the project path and there is something called a build. So what is this build? So this build is basically, allow the developers to add some plugins. So right now I'm just adding Maven compiler plugin. So this is basically, to treat or compile our classes with 1.8. But right now I do have 17 version. So I'll just make sure that this is having the 17 version. Just annotate this. And now I just see here, the version got changed. And now the problem is, if you just go and click in update Maven project, the version will not change. This version will keep it as it is. Now, if I just go and add something to it, so now you have got the notification system because the recent Tomcat. So what is the version of this software? Tomcat 10. So Tomcat 10 supports only 1.8 above related Java applications. Otherwise, it will not allow us to add Java 1.7 specification libraries. Okay. So now I just wanted to add this to the server. And that's it. We just have to run this application by clicking on start server. And basically it will start our application on the server itself. But let's say I just wanted to go behind the scenes. Now let's say this application is running on port number. If you just see the port number of the Tomcat server will be 8080. Okay. So if you just click on this double click on this. Sorry, not this one, server. So if you see that the Tomcat server is running on port, this is a HTTP protocol and browser understands HTTP. Our Java application can understand HTTP. So I will take this port. So probably if I just go in the backend, don't save. Yeah, I just wanted to go here. And our application is running on localhost 8080 /. What is the URI? Not the URL. This is the URL, but the part of our application, there is a URI. So if you just go to this notification API, there's a notifications /email. So I just wanted to give the same thing. And I just wanted to enter. Now, nothing will happen. We will get 404 status. That means there is no information. That means it is basically saying there is no endpoint and I'm not able to take the request from your side. So what is the reason behind it? And if you just see the console for the logs, the people who are going to have idea on Spring Web, probably everyone knows about Dispatcher Servlet, right? So in order to learn Spring Framework, we should have some minimum knowledge on Servlet, but let me tell you in a simple term. So Servlet is a server-side program which runs on a server. Okay, so basically we have added the web-related functionality. We have added Spring Framework Web and all these kind of dependencies, but still the application is not running. The only thing that we need to do from our side, since this is a web application, we need to give some information to the Spring to initialize one servlet, which is a dispatcher servlet. So dispatcher servlet, let's say if you just wanted to go for some interview in some company. So basically there will be a gate where the security people will be there. So once you contact them and they will call the company people and then they will allow you. So this is something called a verification. That means whatever the request that we are getting from the browser or from the web application or from any other application, basically dispatcher servlet is the only servlet which is going to run on a server and it is going to take the incoming request. Right now, if you see anywhere in the log, we have not configured any dispatcher servlet. Do you see any dispatcher servlet? Let's identify dispatcher. Dispatcher. There is no dispatcher servlet. Now, what I just wanted to do, I have to add one class which will make this application as a completely web-based application. Since we have added all these dependencies, it is a web application, but we need to configure some step. Previously, we have @configuration. If you don't configure this, probably this annotation will not work, right? In the same way, we need to configure one class, which is a web app initializer. And there is something called, you just need to extend this class with abstract annotation config dispatcher servlet initializer. So once you do this, you just have to add some methods. You don't have to do anything. I just wanted to add all these methods first. Just go to this and add all unimplemented methods. And now I just wanted to click on this. Now here, you don't do anything over here. Just modify some of the classes here. Something like new class, that's it. You don't have to return anything. And here also you need to do new class. So here, it is basically asking us to give the config classes. Config classes in the sense, our configuration class. What is the configuration class that we do have? Notification system, because this is a configuration class annotated with @configuration. So I'll just go to this, and I will add this to over here, and I just have to give .class file name. .class. Okay. Now the next thing, what I need to do, new string array, and I'll just explain you what is this first of all. Okay. So if you see the URL right now, there's something called localhost 8080. So this is our application URL initially. But if you see, there is a / annotation. That means there is a /. That means just go. Okay. So now what I will do, I will just go to this, the Tomcat server now. Yeah. So here, I just wanted to see here, whenever we do any changes, it is asking for us to restart because there are some changes, right? So here, what I just wanted to do, I just wanted to restart it. Restart. So if you see here, if you see the console, we do have something called dispatcher servlet. See here, the dispatcher servlet object has been created. Now this dispatcher servlet can take the browser request, any other front-end application request which is running in Angular or React. Now our application can take any type of front-end request which is coming from the UI. Okay. Now, if I just go to this one, I just wanted to, this application is running, but right now, if I just go over here and hit this one, I'm not getting any response from the server. That means whatever the response that we are going to give this as a string. String is a class, which is a Java class. Browser will not understand our Java language. So whatever the requests that we are making from our side, every request is having a protocol. There is something called a HTTP request. Whatever the request that we submit from the browser, by default, it is a HTTP request. So when we return this as a Java string, browser will not understand this Java language. So we need to add something different, which is something called a response body. Once we add this response body, whatever the response that is being written from this particular endpoint, basically it is going to write that response to the HTTP protocol. Now, if you see this server, it is just asking us to restart. So let's restart it. And let's see how we are going to hit the endpoint. So now I just wanted to go to this and I just wanted to hit this. Now, even when we add all this kind of things, there is something called behind the scenes in the pom.xml. What is our application name? Notification system, right? So basically it is asking us to give this notification path over here. And now we have hit this request and probably nothing is working. So probably what we can do, so we can just go to this notification API and probably I will just add this as @controller. And I just wanted to restart my application because @component, @controller are all the same things, but probably I just have to restart the server again. I'll just stop it. So right now, the only thing which I can say, when this application jar has been generated, if you just go to this target, so this application jar has been generated at 10:17. So we have made more changes, but we have not given the latest var to the Tomcat server. So it will not execute, right? So probably now what I can do, I will just go to this git bash and I will just clear it and I will just generate the jar with the latest code, because in this one, in this var file, we will not be having the latest code changes. So if you see this var has been generated at 10:17, but we have made so many changes, right? We need to add the latest jar or var, not the jar, it's a var, to the Tomcat server. Now I just wanted to do the Maven clean install again. And now it is going to generate the latest var. Now it has generated, and if you can see that it has been changed from 10:17 to 10:34. Okay, if I just go and see that this is stopped, I just wanted to start it again. Now it has started. Now if I just go to this, I will just hit this. And there you go. We have got the response from our controller. So that's the total idea. So if there is no @response body, if I just add @component also, it will work. So @controller and @service, @component, all are basically used to create the class objects. That's it. If I just do component, but don't restart it because you need to rebuild the application because it will take the old code. Okay. So now do Maven clean install again. Now do the Maven clean install. And now the latest code changes are there in 1035 var. So now I just wanted to go back to the server and I just wanted to click on restart. Now it has been started, and even with @controller or @component also will work. @controller and @component, basically they have, see, this is the API, which is going to have some endpoints. So we have named this as notification API class. But if you just go to the email notification class, this is a service class. We can also annotate this with @service, because this is basically going to give some annotations to us. So all these annotations are basically used to create objects. Okay. So now if I just go back to this and I just wanted to enter this. Now, if you see that there's something called the notification API. So it is not actually taking @component. That means it does not allow. It will create an object for this notification API, but it will not allow. So that's the reason we need to make this as controller. It will create an object with @component. But let's say I just wanted to generate it again. Generate a var whenever you do any changes. And now it has been generated a var. And if you see, the var with latest changes has been generated in the target. So this is generated at 1037. So all our code changes are there. Now, if I just go back to the server, we just have to restart it again. Restart. Yes. Now I just wanted to go back and hit this API, and this will work. So that's the total idea. So even if you add @component, that will not work, because @component is just going to create an object. Of course, @controller will also create an object, but behind the hoods, it is just going to add web-related functionalities to enable this at get mapping annotations and to recognize request mapping annotations. Okay, so that's the total idea, and you can ask the doubts whatever you have now. Hey, Janmenjaya, this is just a refresh. The actual sessions will start on Spring Boot only, okay, with real-time project. Because there are some people who doesn't know what is Core Java. That means how Spring Core is actually helping us to automate the steps using Spring. Okay, hope you understand. And this classes will not be repeated again, because there are some people who are from Core Java. Since you know Spring Core is not being taught by me. Okay. So only the required things I will teach it, and probably we will be developing a real-time project. That's the total idea, Janmenjaya. Janmenjaya, can you just unmute from your side, first of all?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Janmenjaya, this is
Sir,
not
good morning, sir.
for sessions.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
just getting the things in the right way, so that people who are from Core Java background, they just have to know why Spring framework is getting used. That's it.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Not be, I will not be taking any Spring related sessions or something like that.
No, sir. Actually, my question is, I don't know Spring Boot and microservices, and you are going to Spring and Spring Boot project. Then how to learn all the things from
That's
Spring
what
Boot.
that's what you just have to wait for some time. I will just convert this application to a Spring Boot now. See, basically, people will not know why Spring Framework is getting used and why Spring Boot is getting used by the most of the organization. They don't have any idea. But if they understand all this, see, if you see here, we are setting up the server and we are running a web application. But all these things are not required by Spring Boot, right?
Yes, sir. Actually, my question is,
Yeah.
Sir, actually my question is, I don't know Spring Boot and microservices and Servlet also. Can I continue this batch?
Yes, yes, you can continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Example like I don't know like Spring Boot JPA. If you use this JPA, then
And
you learn
Spring
everything.
Boot,
Yeah.
Spring Boot and Spring are a part of this real-time project.
Okay.
Okay, so you cannot do a real-time project directly on Spring. Let's say if I just start the real-time project today, you don't know what is the basics of Spring Boot, right?
Yeah.
So you will not be able to understand that. That's what the reason. Let's give me 5 more minutes. I will just convert this application to a Spring Web.
Okay.
Spring Boot web application. Okay, just
Yeah.
see this and if you can ask more doubts. Okay, let's wait for some period of time and give me just 5 minutes. I just wanted to make this as a Spring Boot application now. So now if you see that, if you just go to this notification API, I have all these APIs, right? So now I just wanted to convert this application to a Spring Boot web application. Now, if you just go to this prompt.xml, I don't need all of these dependencies. I just wanted to remove everything from here. See here, I just have removed it. And basically, there is a path called start.spring.io where we can use this in order to develop a Spring Boot application. So first of all, what I need, basically, if I just go to this, I can just add a web. So this will give you the Spring Boot web application. So now if I just go to this and explore, so there is a parent, just add this on top of this application. And basically, so now I will just remove this Tomcat. This is not required. Delete it completely. I don't need a server. If I'm working on Spring Boot applications, I don't need a server. Spring Boot internally has a server, so I don't have to use these classes. I just wanted to remove this class first of all. And if you just go to this notification system, I don't have to use all these annotations. I can just use a simple @Spring Boot application. @Spring Boot application. So now I just have to add the web dependency also in order to get the web related functionality. Only this jar is needed. We have added so many jars previously, but this jar is going to make us to use only the web related functionality. And I just wanted to refresh and update the project again, Maven update project. And now I just wanted to go to this plugins. I just have to replace this plugins because we don't have to add this complete plugin. So I can just remove this from here, plugins. And that's it. Now, if I just go to this and do a Maven update project, update it. And right now we do have so many issues over here. So right now I will just open this and let's wait for some time. Let it refresh for some period of time. So right now you can just remove this test class. This is not required. And now if you just go to this, there is something called wrong imports. You can just delete this and you can just use this. So in order to make it work, so probably I will just go to this one notification system. And I will just use Spring Boot applications. Spring Boot application is not coming because our application has to build first of all. So what I will just do, I will just go to this one and I will just do a Maven clean install in order to build and bring all the dependencies of Spring Starter. That means Spring Boot related functionality. So here I just wanted to remove this path, relative path, which is not required over here. Only the parent is required over here. So wanted to refresh it, Maven update project. And also, I just wanted to go to the build path. There is something called project facets, apply. And here, if you can see, there is a dynamic web module. Okay, so you can disable this, which is not required. So, and you can just, so let's clear all of this first of all. Save it and copy paste it again. So there is a parent tag missing. Sorry for that. I have not seen that. Okay. Now this will work on the fly. Okay. Now it is downloading all the dependencies. Now it has refreshed. And now this application is a Spring Boot web application. That means I can just go to this notification system @ Spring Boot application. I will get this one. And I will just go to this and I will just write a main method over here. And here I just have to use Spring application, which has been given by the boot package. I just wanted to run this. And here I need to give the notification system.class name. And that's it. There you go. So now this is a Spring Boot application. If you just go to this notification client, I just have to import this component. And now if you just run this application, I don't need this server. I have deleted the servers. And if you see the console, if I run this application behind the scenes, it is just going to create a Tomcat server behind the scenes. Just run it as Spring Boot app or the Java application, you will get most of the things. So if you see here, so here Tomcat server started on port 8080. Now, internally, the advantage of Spring Boot, it internally has a Tomcat server. So once you add the web dependency inside the pom.xml, previously we have added a lot of dependency in the pom.xml. Right now, if you see, there is only one dependency, and even this dependency is not required now. Only one dependency is there, which is going to do a lot of things in the background. And if you see this notification system, this annotation is having component scan inside. And this component Spring Boot application is going to have @configuration also inside it. We don't have to annotate with this with @configuration followed by component scan. So everything will be managed by this single annotation. This is equal to @configuration, @component scan. And the other thing is, I just wanted to, the application has been started. Now, if I just go to the local host 8080, previously we have given notification system as a /, but right now it will delete all those and probably this will work. Notifications /email. Very simple. And now, if you just go to this notification API, I don't need these two annotations. There is an annotation which is REST controller. This is equivalent to @REST controller, @controller plus @response body. That's the total idea. Hope you have got most of the details and probably you can just ask me the doubts now. Please raise your hand so that I can unmute and ask the questions from my side. If you have any questions, you can just raise your hand and you can ask your questions. So just we have started with Spring Boot. So don't think that even we have followed all these things, but probably you have not understood anything. Probably these are demo sessions. Okay, I just have to go along with that. And once the normal sessions are started, it will be very much interesting. Katasani Purushottam, yes. Katasani Purushottam. I cannot hear you. Can you please check your mic, because from my side, everything is good.
Yeah, no?
Yeah, it is okay now, Katasani. Yes, tell me.
Sir, in our main project, we will use the only code operations or like only code operations or any features are there. And
No,
second thing is that we will use the...
Yesterday session you were there?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So
No, yeah, you told all modules nearly 11. In that all modules, only code operations will be there.
No CRUD operations. It's not related to CRUD operations. There will be a lot of APIs, Katasani.
Okay.
It's not a Spring Boot CRUD application. We have
Yes,
so
yes.
many APIs from our side, and we need to do Kafka integrations to follow the asynchronous mode of communication and all these kind of things. But basically, what I just wanted to do, there are some people who are from core Java. Let's say I just wanted to start with Spring Boot now,
Yes.
or the beginning of the class. Those people will not understand and they will go away, right?
Yes, yes.
So I just have to, I am just keeping these demo sessions to refresh.
No, no.
the
Yeah,
knowledge.
demos are okay, but I'm asking in the main project.
Yeah, in the main project, it is not simple like, Spring Boot CRUD. There are so many
Yeah.
things that we need to do.
And one more question, sir.
Yes, apart from CRUD, right, we need to do asynchronous communication. That means no endpoints are required for that. We need to deal with Kafka topics and messagings.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
we are using AWS Cognitive also.
Yes, we are going to, right now, everyone works on MySQL, right? But we will set up the RDS, which is a MySQL database on the AWS cloud. And we will not be running that in our local as a database. We will directly interact with the AWS cloud components directly.
Okay, and what about the securities? You will use you told yesterday JWT. You are
Yes,
using that?
JWT we will be using, and that will be implemented at the API gateway level for all
Yes,
the
yes.
services.
Yeah. And whenever communication between the microservices, you are sending the JWT, or we are sending all your user data also.
No. So let's say JWT token has some information about the user, the role, and all this kind of things.
Yes, yes.
So we will pass only those details. Based on that, the backend security part will understand that JWT token, and it understands that which APIs has to be given to the logged in user.
Yes, yes.
Otherwise,
Got
it
it.
will
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. My doubts are clear.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Karsani. Suresh?
Yes, sir. So actually in my office, right, we are using Java 11. So in that case, how to upgrade? Like you said, only Java 17 will be supported, correct?
Yes. I think there is no difference between Java 11 and Java 17. Java 11 has some features, but Java 17 has Java 11 features. Along with that, it has more. That's the only difference.
But still we can use Java 11, right?
Yeah. See, when you are using Java 17, it has all the functionalities of Java 11 also, but it has more than that.
So what is the additional thing Java 17 has when compared to
Java 17 is basically going to have Graal VM. So previously, for previous versions, we do have JVM, right? So JVM has some performance related issues in order to run the application, process the application. Let's say if you are going to hit one endpoint, or you just wanted to call one method, right? Let's say that method is going to take 5 seconds of time to return the response.
Okay.
But in Java 11, it will take 5 seconds. But but while using Java 17, it will take 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. That is the performance that is 17 version is going to give it to us.
Okay.
But rest of the things are same.
Can we use Gradle instead of Maven? Because Gradle is faster when compared to Maven, right?
No.
And
Is that there?
just one line. You don't have to write so many lines of.
No, Suresh. See, Gradle and Maven both will be covered. For a mini project, we are going to use Maven, but for the major project, we will be using Gradle. The only difference between Maven and Gradle, so in the Gradle, we can also include script-related commands. That means shell commands. But if you go with the Maven dependency, since everything is an XML file, we cannot run scripts, right?
Correct.
So we do have some alternative ways. But even inside a Gradle, we are using a Groovy language.
Okay, yeah, correct. Yeah.
In Gradle, we are going to use Groovy language, right? So it is basically used to create some more scripts to run behind the scenes whenever our Spring Boot application starts behind the scenes. So that's the only advantage. When you compare the performances related to Maven and Gradle, both are same. There is no performance related constant between them. But Gradle is going to provide more functionalities than Maven. That's the only thing. Yeah. Prashant?
Sir, I have a doubt. So you have mentioned in the course content, whatever the monitoring management, query languages, payment gateway,
Right.
So these are all we are going to cover as part of project, or are we going to?
Exactly. So if you have any friends, you can contact with the 6 p.m. batch. I think the mini project already has been covered. Let me show you my screen. So this is one of the example where we have integrated the Stripe payment gateway. So here, these are the recent test payments that we have done in the cloud. So let me show it to you. So this is Stripe payment gateway. We do have PayPal, we do have Razorpay, but this is going to provide us a more easier way Java configuration. So if you see here, these are the test payments that we have done using our Spring Boot application. If you see here, this is a test payment. All these things are done using Spring Boot applications, microservices itself for the mini project. Got it? What happened to this? Prashant.
So as part of project, right? So we are going to cover.
Yes, right. So this is just a refresher program. See, but normally in the demo sessions, everyone will give theory knowledge, right? But what I just wanted to do in the demo sessions, I just wanted to refresh all these kind of things for the people who basically are from core Java knowledge, right? So probably they will understand each and everything. And once I start the Spring Boot application, then probably they don't have to recollect all these kind of things. So that's the total idea, Prashant. Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
are we going to cover whatever given in the course content, sir? GraphQL.
Exactly the same. If there is any thing difference coming in, let's say in middle of the project, probably you can raise your hand and ask me. Okay.
No. Not like that.
Yeah. So this is a sample application which we have actually developed. Let me show this application so that you will get a pure understanding on what we have developed. This window. And here, if you can see this, these are the services: API gateway, booking service, movie services registry, notification service, and the payment service. If you just go to this payment service, this is actually the real-time project batch that we have actually running at 6 p.m. So probably I will just show you that. Let me switch on to the branch. Just go to the Git branches. And here is the remote branch where we have used a Fane client communication. Checkout. And now if you go to this smart checkout, yes. And now if I just go to this payment service, if you can see the coding over here, it has the best standards, the coding standards. If you just go to this payment service, I've just used a Stripe payment gateway. And if you see this Stripe payment gateway, here we are actually using the Stripe payment gateway secret key. But while committing the code, I have not given the secret key over here, Stripe key. So this key is this one. This is the key which you will get it from the UI. Go to the home over here and it will have the secret key over here. See here for developers, publishable key and secret key. You need to copy this key and paste it over here. Okay, and this Stripe payment gateway. So this is a class, it will get the key. And then probably it has something called the charge API. So this charge is basically from the Stripe package. You just see this charge class. This is basically from com.stripe.model. And if you see this pom.xml, there is something called a Stripe API that we have added. So go to this pom.xml of the payment service. And if you see here, there is something called the Stripe payment gateway, this one, which will actually communicate with this payment gateway, which is running on the cloud. So that's very simple. Suresh Prasad, okay. Let me unmute you from my side. Suresh Prasad, yes, you can talk.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So one question, like timing, like what is the timing, sir? Like it's 9 o'clock, 9 to what time?
Begin at 9. But according to the students who are coming online, we have just delayed it to 9:30. Because
Okay,
this is the beginning, right? So many people will come, and if they join in middle, they will lose something. So that's the reason we just wanted to make sure that everyone is on the right path.
9:30 till what time? Like just
Only 1 hour, only 1 hour.
Oh, 9:30 to 10:30, right?
Yeah,
Because
9:30 to
I'm in US right now. It's kind of 12 o'clock for me.
Sure,
Night.
sure. But probably we'll make sure that from our side, 9 to 10 will happen, 9 to 10:15 mostly. It
Yeah,
will
if you can make that will be really great because it will be too late for me and I have to
Okay,
again
okay, sure,
morning I have
Thank
to
you.
work. Yeah, thank you, sir. And other thing is the example what we are using, right? Swaggy, what is that?
Stripe, right?
No. So another, I'm not able to access those applications here. Swiggy.com, whatever, Zomato, all those things.
Yeah, that Swiggy application is a major project. And
Okay.
movie
Can
ticket
you
booking
access
system.
from yours, but that application I'm not able to access from my laptop.
Sorry, the application. Which application you're talking?
Swiggy, right? You will be using some particular, you say 1
No,
month.
we are going to develop a Swiggy application, same like Swiggy functionalities and all those kind of things, Suresh.
Okay. So
That is
that
the major
won't be
project
all.
that we are going to develop. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let me unmute some more people. Suresh Prasad. Okay, yes. PN Rao.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Sir, actually, thank you so much. The content you are providing, it's the standards to the corporate what we are using organizations.
Okay.
And yeah, so sir, one question here, like when nowadays, nobody using on-prem servers, right? So everybody is moving to cloud.
Yes.
Either maybe like AWS, GCP, something. So are we going to deploy these applications on the cloud, or are we going to use on-prem?
No, we are
servers?
not going to use any on-premise applications. So
Okay.
we'll be using complete DevOps. We'll commit
DevOps.
our code to the GitHub repository, and there, from the GitHub repository, it will trigger a build in the AWS code pipeline.
Okay.
So since we are working with Docker, so these Docker images will be deployed in the ECR Amazon service repository to test our application on live. We will not be using localhost, something like that. We will be using the IP addresses given by AWS.
AWS. Okay.
Yeah.
So like, is it a registered AWS service, or like
I do
are we
have
using?
AWS paid account.
Okay, great.
Okay. So probably you can use that one. Okay.
Okay, sir. I think I will one addition, like if you can show, then EKS is also being as we are using EKS instead, like ECS is outdated.
Yeah, we will be using that. We will be using that. That is a part of this particular course. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Even my office timings are getting late. We can have a discussion tomorrow and have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.